Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on the Not a Nail Tech series, I'm going to be creating some brushstroke graffiti type effect nails. So I'm starting off with French cream and I'm going to pop on a few coats of this. This is one of our colours that really is designed to be used for French tips, so you can make it as sheer or as opaque as you like. So I've just gone in, done one coat, cured it, and I'm just going in with another couple of coats as well. And just going in with that final coat of French cream. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to pop it in the lamp for 60 seconds and then I'm going to use our ultra matte coat and do a nice layer of this over the top. Because I'm going to be doing some line work and detail work, I much prefer to work on a matte base just so nothing slips and slides about. Once that's cured, I'm using Serious Black and I'm just going to be mapping out a diagonal line across the nail, and it's going to be like kind of like a funky French tip. So I'm going to do the diagonal line and then just fill in the tip of the nail as well, just with this long fine detail brush. You can go in with a wider brush or a bigger brush to do this. I just find I get a better coverage if I go in with the long detail brush, and it means I don't get any ridges where I've originally put that diagonal line as well. Just because sometimes the product can build up from the brush and then you might smooth it out too much everywhere else with a bigger brush. I'm just going to cure that and then I'm just going in and doing exactly the same thing and just doing a second coat. I just want to make sure that this is totally opaque. Once that's done and cured, I'm just using a dotting tool, and on this nail I'm going to be creating a heart, so I'm just using the dotting tool to mark out where I want those curved sections to be and then pulling it down. You'd be surprised what you can do with the dotting tool. You would think you would need to put dots on and then use a brush, but they do work quite well for spreading out the gel polish. So on all of the nails, I'm going to be creating a design that crosses over from the nude section into the black section, and where it hits the black, it's going to have a white section that continues the pattern on there. So I've cured that and added on an ultra matte coat just to make it easy for adding on the white sections now. Once that's cured, I'm taking Snow White and I'm just continuing that heart pattern. So I'm just doing the point at the bottom there and filling that all in, and then I'll be adding some little textured lines so it kind of looks a bit like a brush stroke. It's not quite as obvious on the heart, but on the letters it'll be really obvious that it's meant to be a brush stroke effect, and it'll just blend the two sections together. So as you can see, I'm just doing a textured line and blend those two bits together so it looks like a brushstroke effect. And then I just went in, once that was cured, with some black just to bring that line down a little bit more. For the next nail, I'm just doing the letter L. So all of these are going to be on a little bit of an angle. I don't want them all to sit too straight and too perfect. So I'm just adding in quite a thick line for the letter L, and I'll just be making the ends of this a little bit jagged so it looks like a paintbrush effect. And once that's cured, I'm just going back in and adding a second coat. I'm going to pop that into cure, and then for the next nail I'm going to be doing the O. So like I say, I'm just doing kind of half of the letter just on this nude section with the black. I'm just mapping it out, and then I'll go back in and thicken up that line. I'm just going to pop that into cure and just add another coat onto this, and I'm just going to let you watch me finish off all of the tops of these letters before I go into the next section. Now I'm happy with all of those. I'm just using Snow White and just going in and adding in the bottom of those letters. So obviously for this one I'm just finishing off that line and then doing a horizontal line as well, and that'll make an L. So you just want to line these up with the black section at the top and just make sure that you add your jagged lines on the end and blend them together a little bit in the middle. Now I've added in all that white and all of them are cured, I'm just going to take Serious Black again and just try and add some more jagged lines from the top, just so that the midpoint meets that line and isn't too high. Once I'm happy with all my letters, I'm going to make sure they're all well cured, and I'm using our gel top coat nail sealer and just adding a coat of this on all of the nails. I love using this top coat if I've done any line work or detail work that leaves a slightly raised edge, because this seems to smooth it all out so you don't have too much texture. And there's the final nails. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you want any of the products that have been used today, they'll be linked down below and tagged in the video as well. We'd love to hear what you want to see next, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.